Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the hot topic that's been stirring up the trading community. Are regulators coming for prop firms? We'll explore the potential future of prop firms, recent regulatory actions, and what major players in the industry are doing to adapt. Stick around to the end for our take on where the industry might be headed. On Friday, Finance Magnates published an article citing an exclusive industry source that the European Securities and Markets Authority, ESMA, recently ran an initial check on prop firms and discussed possible regulations in the industry. Let's run through the article now, but before doing so, make sure you subscribe to our channel for updates on the prop firms and the prop trading industry. So, Finance Magnates published this exclusive article saying that regulators conducted preliminary reviews of potential prop trading regulations, and this was published on May 31st. They have learned that ESMA held a discussion around prop trading regulations, and Munmost, I'm probably butchering this name, reveals that regulators are conducting studies, gathering data, and engaging consultations for possible prop regulation. So it's on their radar. They are looking at the prop industry in Europe, and there's no questions happening in the US as well. So, the increased popularity of trader-funded firms marketed as prop trading firms has attracted the attention of regulators. And an industry source told Finance Magnates that ESMA recently ran an initial check on such prop firms and also discussed possible regulations in the industry. However, the pan-European regulator refused to comment, obviously, of this possible move because it takes time, as we all know, to really investigate the industry, understand it, discuss what possible regulations could come out. But what we do know is that Ramonda Kirkerter-Moller, who's the founder and CEO of this regulatory compliance firm, Munmost, confirmed to Finance Magnates that regulators have been conducting and gathering data and engaging in consultations with industry participants, which is the prop firms, and maybe Meta Quotes and maybe FPFX, to better understand the nature and implications of prop trading. Currently, prop trading companies only follow laws like consumer protection rules, data protection rules, and conditions for international sanctions. The registration of most companies are concentrated in the US, UK, UAE, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Now, some regulations have implemented certain regulatory authority measures or guidelines to oversee prop trading activities in the market, but proper regulatory measures are yet to come. The approach of regulators. Regulatory interest in the prop trade began with the CFTC and the Canadian lawsuit about my forex funds, yada yada. In March, the Belgian regulator, FISMA, issued a warning against prop trading, calling it a game of shadow investing, a practice that costs money and can lead to reckless behavior. They are the only country in the EU that has banned contract for differences, although, a lot of other countries are doing this. So, they've certainly got prop on their radar. But none of the regulators have made public statements about prop trading and the possibility of regulations. FTMO, one of the most popular brands, confirmed that they have not been approached by a regulator. Okay, so they aren't one of the industry participants that they're talking to discuss future regulation. However, when regulators prepare for the regulations, they do usually consult industry players. We know this happens, and probably talking to Meta Quotes, probably talking to FPFX. I have no idea, but it sounds like they haven't talked to FTMO. Maybe they're talking to other players. Some regulators don't believe in the model of prop trading. Some want to ban the model, and some believe the model will die off. It's not dying off, I can tell you that. They could probably ban it, regulate it, and they will just move offshore. But we should see some clarity at the end of this year, which is not that long, 6 months from now. When Finance Magnates approach ESMA, obviously they refuse to comment. However, many industry participants are anticipating a regulatory push. On a European level, regulators anticipate to introduce requirements for prop firms, including authorization under the Markets and Financial Instruments Directive. The expectation stems from the understanding that prop trading may fall within the investment category. And this could entail firms needing the designation to offer services to clients, so some sort of license for the firms, even for activities such as collecting subscriptions for demo trading. The aim is to ensure these firms are subject to organization and operational requirements, enhancing transparency and investor protection. The nature of the prop trading model has also created confusion about who should regulate this. Regulation will definitely come, but it's not clear by who and when and how. But it sounds like, all these prop firms should be ready for something to come in, December or at the turn of the year. Rules around prop firm operations could be better suited to the gaming gap. We'll see, maybe. The dilemma of prop trading regulations, these firms don't offer brokerage services, so desisting regulation on retail OTC brokers do not apply to them. And furthermore, most of the prop activities from challenges to trading is done on demo accounts. Due to the unregulated nature of the prop trading business, hundreds, if not more, of the brands have spawned over the past few years. While some have established their names, many have received complaints lately. So currently, it's the Wild Wild West, according to Greg Rubin of Axie Select, which in some ways is true. Most players in the space use demo accounts. Axie uses real funds. They ultimately structure to be some sort of virtual and non-financial product, and therefore not subject to financial regulations. I do think the regulators will try to clamp down on this and create some sort of regulation around it. And I'm going to talk at the end of this video exactly what type of regulation I think is going to happen. And so this means that most of firms, don't even do basic client check. It is important to understand that the prop industry is new. Most prop firms started in 2020. There are some firms that have been around for longer, like FTMO, TopStep, and the Fivers, but 95% of the prop firms are less than 4 years old. The industry has boomed since then, with traders getting really excited about the opportunity to trade a significant capital for a small fee in exchange for a share of the profits if they pass the challenges. However, the rapid growth and somewhat opaque nature of some of these firms have caught the eye of regulators. It should be no surprise that regulation takes a long time. First, the industry has to be born. Then it needs to gain enough momentum and traction to even catch the eye of regulators. Then the regulators start to research and try to understand what this industry is about, which can take months to even years. Then they spend more months and probably years talking to prop firms, deciding and debating on what type of regulation to implement. There is no question that regulation is coming, and the smart firms are preparing for it. The CFTC has been quiet since the My Forex Funds debacle, but I guarantee you that they are doing their research behind the scenes. They shut down My Forex Funds, put True Forex Funds on the red list. Both companies are now gone, and scared MetaTrader out of the U.S. market. This move by regulatory bodies signifies a broader trend of increased scrutiny and potential enforcement actions against prop firms, and that has pushed many prop firms out of the U.S. market. This latest article on potential regulation in Europe confirms to all of us that the prop industry is on the radar of regulators. So, how are industry players adapting? First, more and more are moving offshore and domiciling themselves in countries out of these regulatory jurisdictions. Some are expanding to futures. Then, companies like FTMO, one of the biggest players in the prop firm space, is taking proactive steps. They have taken steps to become a brokerage. This move could be a strategic way to align more closely with regulatory frameworks and offer a broader range of services while maintaining the core proposition to traders. Lux Traders just launched Lux Broker, and I expect more prop firms to become brokers and more brokers to recognize this huge demand and offer some form of prop trading, like Axie Select, Handtech, IC Trading, IC Markets, and Oanda Labs. Oanda Labs is a more traditional model, but Axie Select is a real broker account with real funds. If you pass their challenge and you're allocated real funds to trade, that's something that's very different. And I think that's really where the trend will be. Aside from prop firms becoming brokers and brokers adding prop, the middle grounds that may be palatable and acceptable by regulators, I'm no regulator or lawyer, this is just my own speculation, is that all funded accounts need to be traded with real funds and possibly A-booked. Now, if you don't know the difference between A-book and B-book, there's a link in the description below that provides a very detailed explanation. Regardless of the path, some things are clear. Not every fly-by-night prop firm will be able to afford to become a broker, so there will be consolidation. In conclusion, while regulatory scrutiny on prop firms is intensifying, the industry is not necessarily doomed. Instead, it's evolving. Whether prop firms become brokers or brokers start offering prop trading services, the future promises a more regulated, transparent, and secure trading environment for traders. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for updates. Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think is the future of prop firms and how you think the big prop firms will be changing.